The Adventures of Sodor, Episode 58, Stephen's History. One night, Stephen was steaming into Titmouth Sheds. He had not made it back to Ulfsey Castle for the night, as he was taking a tourist train over to Knapford, but he could not get back over to Ulfsey Castle, so he decided to spend the night at Titmouth Sheds while Hemi was putting the flying keeper. "Hello," said Stephen. "Hello," said Percy. "So, I see you took Henry's spot," said Percy. "Oh, this is Henry's spot," said Stephen. "I did not know this was Henry's spot. I only came here because I saw a spot open," said Stephen. "Oh, he's putting the flying keeper right now, however," said Percy, "and I'll have to go and pull my mail train soon." "Okay," said Stephen. "Might as well get to sleep then." And Stephen began to shut his eyes when, "Oh, please, Stephen," said Percy, "tell us a story before I take my mail when you go to sleep." "Oh, all right then," said Stephen. "I'll tell you my story of the Rain Hill Trials. It all happens back on the 6th of October 1829. I was put on the Rain Hill Trials with four of the locomotives. The main ones that you might already know are Sodor, who was described as a big boiler on wheels. Then we have the Novelty, an engine that was light-weighted, which gave her an advantage of speed. And then we have the Cyclopede, who was basically one of your trucks, but it was powered by a horse. And I was rocket, as you know. I was also like Sodor, a big boiler on wheels with a tender, but I was built in secret, while Sodor was also built, not in secret, but he was basically built on spare time, so when the trials began, you'll see. Anyways, we had to do the Rain Hill Trials. We had to go from one location to the other 20 times to do a 70-mile run, filled with trucks that were 3 times our own weight. And who would ever win would get the Liverpool and Manchester Railway. The judges told our drivers and firemen, but me, Sodor, and Novelty began to speak. "Oh, excuse me," I said. "So we are on trial?" "What's the trial?" said Sodor. Oh, yes, what's the trial?" said Novelty. "You can speak," said the judges. "Of course we can. We can speak like any ordinary human. Isn't that how it's always been?" I asked. You do know you three are basically the first locomotives." "Oh, we do." "Well, not really, but now we do," I said. "Say, why am I a big boiler on wheels?" "Same here. It's how your builders designed you. Come on, Rocket, Sodor, and Novelty, and Cyclopede. It's time for your trials. Whoever completes your trials by doing your trains back and forth that are 3 times your own weight, 20 times, we'll get awarded the Liverpool and Manchester Railway. So get to work," said the judges. "Yes, sir," I said. I was the first to leave the yard. My firebox was going, and I had more than the usual 1 or 2 pipes going through my boiler. I began to move for the first time, and I was out of the yard. I was happy, and I went over to collect my trucks. They were 3 times my own weight, and so did the rest. Soon, me, the cyclopedes, I forgot what his name was. Hang on, and let me remember. Sombre, if I'm correct saying. It's been such a long time since I've met him. Then, I forgot his name as well. It's been so long. Oh, Novelty, that's what it was. Novelty, and the other engine. Well, Perseverance, I think it was. It's been such a long time, so if I'm mispronouncing their names, I'm sure I'm near or correct. Well, Novelty was behind Perseverance. And soon the judges came. You all will be going from one side of this railway to the other. You'll be having to do it 20 times with these trucks. If you can handle it, you'll be the new engine of the Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway, and for the humans, they will get rights to making all steam locomotives for the railway and a £500 prize. All the drivers and firemen enjoyed that last line, and they were eager to try and get it. They decided to attempt Cyclopedes first. They were doing this one at a time. They decided to attempt Cyclopedes. And well, because he was ran by a horse, the horse didn't want to go at first. Come on, it's your turn, I said. No, grumbled the horse. I reached steam and Cyclopedes, and the horse got scared and began to run off. No, went the horse, and it ran away. Everyone thought that Cyclopedes had an unfair advantage, since it was, well, created by, I can't remember whether it was someone, I can't exactly remember, but it was by someone that was a part of the railway organisation. Anyway, the horse ran and ran until it got away and came to a stop on the bridge. No! The horse would not move. Eventually, the Cyclopedes lost the trials. And well, the Perseverance had been damaged on the way to the trials. And so, yeah, he was shunted there by some parade, but apart from that, he was tried to be repaired, so he never really took part in the trials. It was soon just us 3 left. Me, the rocket, Novelty, the light-rated engine built for speed, and Somperay, the boiler on wheels. They decided to trial me next. And, well, my outside cylinders gave a smooth ride. I pulled away with ease. I was able to reach 20 or 25 miles per hour while I went, and that was something at the time. It was really fast at the time, not as fast as a horse, if I'm correct, but Stevenson would always tell me was the best form of travel around, and while I kindly declined, I would always know that horse could go anywhere, but I did know that, well, I was the fastest form of travel around. I came up above a hill. I came over the hill and turned around. I then steamed off and did the run 20 more times. Next up was the Novelty. She went quite fast along the tracks. However, for being lightweighted, the trucks did strain on her, and early on, bellows blew, and didn't return to the trials until the final day. Lastly, Sodor did his trials, but with how most of the other engines failed, he was worried. As he was steaming along the tracks, his driver soon called out, Sodor, your boiler's leaking! Sodor quickly came to a stop, and well, he was taken back to get repaired. Whenever Sodor broke down, I was always sent out to entertain the crowd, but he was never always angry that he was no longer able to run, however, because he was always happy to see me getting his jobs done. Whether it was goods work or passengers, I always came to entertain the crowd. Thank you for helping me. It's at least nice to know that someone's still out there to help. That's not a failure, says Sodor. Oh, I know. At least I'm here to entertain the crowd, I would say, and I would steam off and carry on with the jobs. The preservation, or whatever it was, well, when he was finally repaired on the last day of the Rain Hill trials, he only went 6 miles per hour compared to mine and the other engine spins, where I was even able to go 35 miles per hour. And well, as for the Novelty, her boiler burst while doing the trials, and so she never completed the trials. I was soon landed as the best option for the railway, and I won the trials. I was given the Liverpool and Manchester Railway, and save us this next part of the story for next night, said Gordon. I'm not finished yet, said Stephen. Anyways, another train pulled the grand opening train. There were 4 new locomotives, and I was pulling a normal goods train. Hum-de-dum-dum, hum-na-dum-dum, hum-na-dum-dum-dum-na-na-dum-dum. I was humming as I was steaming down the line at, well, a pretty fast speed at the time of 15 miles per hour. The train that was being pulled up ahead did have the Duke on it. He had his own special coach. And then me and Stevenson heard some shouting. Oh dear. Stop, driver, stop, I said. Stevenson began to slow me down, but it was too late. I came rumbling down the track as the engine was filling up on water and trying to speed away. But then it happened. Stephen and the rest had the engines on the edge of their rails. That was how thrilling the story was now. Tell us what happened, said Edward. So Stephen told them. And the engines were shocked. You mean to tell us that you actually... Yes, Gordon. It was an accident, though. I can slow down in time. Even though back then, locomotives were the newest and latest thing of travel. Stevenson always told me after that to not worry, it was only an accident. But I always think of it, even now. That must have been horrifying. It was, Gordon. I thought I might have been broken down for it, and just been rebuilt into something that would be more useful, like a house. I'm glad you're still an engine now, said Percy. Ah, yes, said Stephen. I think Sir Randall, Henry and Peter Sam would like to hear about that story, Stephen, said Edward. You do, said Stephen. Yes, they were well made. They are old engines as well. Like their railway opens back in the 1800s as well, except it closed back in the 1940s. Oh, and mine closed in the 1840s as well, if I remember correctly. It's been such a long time, hasn't it, so you may be mispronouncing and forgetting things. Yes, it has. I'm surprised I've remembered as much as I have, for how long it's been. Anyways, the engines went to sleep, and Stephen did tell Duke, Sir Randall, Peter Sam and Henry about the story, and they were all shocked by its ending. And the next day, before Stephen did tell those four engines the story, Thomas did race Stephen, and Stephen did get a boost on Gordon's Hill and win the race. Well, not exactly, because he had to go back to Ulster Castle, but he did pass Thomas in the race, just getting a big boost from Gordon's Hill. But with how Stephen ended his story, I think it was a little bit intense with what happened, which was not mentioned. But Percy did ask for the story, and Stephen did give it.